Hey, this is Buckley with CollabTalk, and I'm here with Erwin at the MVP Summit. And so you're with Renore. Well, why don't you introduce yourself and where you're from? And
right, yeah. So Erwin van Hunen. I'm from Stockholm, Sweden. I work with Renore. I'm a product owner, which is the Renore way of calling someone that's a product manager. And I work with transformation tooling.
And one of the things, Erwin and I try to remember, so it was what, 3 years ago when we did the road trip?
We did a very interesting road trip together.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Except for those that have never, we were at an event in Austin, and then we went and spoke at the user group in Dallas.
Correct.
And then we had, I don't remember how many days in between.
But 2 or 3 or something?
It's a few days between an event in Denver, and we had this crazy idea that we were going to drive we were going through New Mexico and what was it with the Roswell. And what we learned is that there's no reason to ever drive in eastern Texas, western New Mexico, northern New Mexico, southern Colorado. That region, you don't need to go. If you've never been, you think, I want to go there. You don't.
There's nothing.
There's absolutely nothing there.
No.
Probably the most interesting thing as we're driving flat and nothing was when in New Mexico, where occasionally we'd see like the jet fighters, up high, for a few minutes of the tens of hours of driving.
But we had fun in a way too.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, obviously we can't talk about things that are happening here. We're under strict NDA with the summit, but with what's going on, what's exciting you about the technology and what you guys are doing with Renore?
So when we talk about the summit, as you said, we can't talk about the content, but what I really feel right now is that they're listening to us, and they're opening up very much, and they're not only opening up in what they're doing, but they're also opening up in technology. They're moving to open source. It's all open. You can use it. They give away. They want your feedback. They want us to help them to make it better. And that's not only that they ask the MVPs to do. They ask that the whole community to do, and that is an amazing change. I think we really can influence the product.
Right. How many summits has this been for you now?
This is my third.
Okay, and so in that time, you've seen, because I agree with you that there's been a difference in how Microsoft even approaches that. And it's funny, we've been saying for a number of years as we go and speak at other conferences, and I tell people, please provide your feedback, and Microsoft is listening, and we can do that out on tech community and through user voice in different places. I said, but even here it's reflected in how they're conducting the sessions, how they set that up, and how two-way the conversation really is.
Yeah.
In most of the sessions, let's say there's one. We were talking about it offline. There was no two-way conversation. It was interesting. So, but not the product team people. It's actually a marketing team.
Yeah, but everyone is learning. Microsoft is changing, and that change that will take time. And from some people that have been around a bit longer, it will take a bit longer for them to move over to this. It's actually better to give away and to open up, because it will make their products better. It makes our lives better. So it will pay back in the end.
Well, I think for those of us who've been in the community a long time, and I think I've met you many times over the years, and almost a decade in the space since I left Microsoft in 2009, and so in that time, and so I'd see you at events, and I'd go over to Europe, with those interactions and in that time, it's like we've been very community minded with that concept that the more that we go and talk and that we share, it benefits us personally, it benefits our companies. We get a better, so you don't have this kind of echo chamber around, especially in product development roles of we're just hearing what we want to hear because this is the product we're trying to develop. It really does kind of give you perspectives.
Yep.
I don't know, so I know you have a couple products that have that are a broader audience how have you been able to incorporate some of that community feedback into what you guys do?
Now, take for instance the product I'm responsible for, which is SPTransformator, which is a tool that helps you to move from classic development to modern development, or from on-prem to the cloud. And parts of our transition story or transformation story is that we help you to move to the new SPFx technology, and also to all the libraries that PnP built. Now, I am a PnP core team, so for me it's very easy to incorporate that. So we use those libraries in our products actually. We use that open source effort, we generate SPFx code, we generate PnP provisioning templates. So we just incorporate all that open source technology in our products. It's there for you to consume. So that's great, that's amazing. We can just tap into so much knowledge there, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel constantly.
I mean, but how much do you, when you as the product owner, like go to an event, maybe not like this one, but like one with end users and customers that are in there, and do you do anything specifically where you are targeting conversations with existing customers, prospective customers, you're getting that feedback?
Absolutely, absolutely. For us, it's very crucial to understand is what people want to do, where they want to go, what is important for them. So we can actually move our applications to focus on those things, the more important things. So it's absolutely important for us to understand. So where are you coming from? Where are you going to? What do you find interesting? What do you think is not interesting? And we constantly massage our products to focus on those.
It's something that changed, and it wasn't just I'll finish the thought. Something that changed in the last few years for Microsoft was being much more data-driven about the features and things that were out there. So
right.
I would say that in the collaboration side of the Office 365 especially, where they started going and really investing in telemetry. And that was something that Satya Nadella, CEO, of those that don't know, and really put an emphasis on is having that kind of, that data perspective on product management. It was something that was really big in Yammer before the acquisition. So a lot of people, they made a bunch of news about the fact that they would go in and measure things and based on usage and go and do that. And so some people said, well, they're just going to kind of go and take what Yammer did into the other products. Like, no, it just kind of happened at the same time as Microsoft has already moved that direction.
Right.
I mean, how much does that data, do you guys go and look at what people are using and change based on that?
There's actually two parts of that. So the core team has access to a certain kind of data. So we can actually see what are people using very heavily with CSUM. Where are they going? Which calls are they making? How are they using the platform from a development perspective? And that information we use, of course, within PnP to make sure that we actually focus within PnP on the right things. But that just drills down also to the Renore products.
Yeah.
It's a similar way. Because we focus very much on analysis at Renore. We analyze your code, we analyze your solutions, we analyze your farms and your tenants. And we get really good insight in what is out there and what is important for people. And that works two ways. That works from PnP to Renore, from Renore to PnP, from PnP to Microsoft, etc.
Yeah, so by seeing how people are actually using what they're actually accessing, you can then go prioritize, hey, we're seeing much more of this, we
Yes.
need to add these kinds of features.
Yes.
I mean, that's why, data has just really changed the landscape and why you've got to be smart about it. And there are, I used to always say in operations organizations, you have to be careful because there might be something that has low quantity, low number of customers that are asking for a feature, but it could be something that is critical to that small subset. And so you have to look at,
Right.
even those small.
You can't just look at the numbers.
Right.
They don't really represent
It
the
should
story.
inform,
Yeah.
but you go, there are some things that clearly it's like, hey, we don't do this, and everybody keeps asking for this, and here's how it fit, like, hey, let's go do this, and it
Right.
could help us with additional revenue. But other times you used to say, this is kind of core to what it is that we provide for customers, and even though that alone would not go win a ton of new business, but we need to do it.
Take an example of how we help you to gain that insight in our products. Take Transformator. What we do is when we analyze your farm, we look at usage of artifacts. So we tell you okay, this content type is used there, there, and there, and based on that data, you can decide, hopefully, if you actually want to invest in transforming that artifact, that specific content type, for instance, from the on-prem to the cloud, because it might be used. But it's not necessarily a given. It could be very important financial data that is being updated once a year. That's not a very heavy usage, but it's still very important information. But still, we help you to gain that insight, and the Transformator does that analysis of usage, and Analysis Cloud, our cloud offering that analyzes your tenant, also does that.
That's very cool. Well, it's interesting stuff. So how can people find out more about that and about you, like get in touch with you?
Find me. I'm on Renore.com. You will find me there. And if you join into the PnP calls, I'll be there every time.
And then Twitter, LinkedIn, what's the best way to reach you? What do you monitor? All of that.
All of that, but...
Erwin's very social. So.
I'm there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, Erwin.
My pleasure.
It's good to see you.
Yeah.